Ayanna Pressley was the first woman of color to be elected to the Boston City Council in 2009. Then, back in January, she launched her bid to become Massachusetts' first ever non-white member of the House of Representatives, aiming to unseat Democratic U.S. Congressman Michael Capuano in the state's 7th district. But as the weeks have gone on, a growing number of high-profile black elected leaders have endorsed the incumbent, with former Governor Deval Patrick, U.S. Congressman and civil rights icon John Lewis, California Congresswoman Maxine Waters, and the Congressional Black Caucus Political Action Committee, all backing Capuano over Pressley. I'm joined by now Natacha Clerger. She's a Capuano supporter and town-councilor-at-large for Randolph. Great to meet you. Thanks for being here. Michael Curry, Pressley supporter and former president of the Boston NAACP, now chair of the NAACP Advocacy and Policy Committee. Michael, it's great to see you.
Glad to be here.
You're upset with the Congressional Black Caucus. Why?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, we went through this with President Obama, where prominent black organizations and leaders came out and supported his opponent when he ran for president. It's not that it's surprising. I think it's disappointing for me.
Why?
When you talk about diversity in elected office, the reality is we've never had any other mayor than a white male. We've never had anyone hold that seat for the 7th Congressional District other than a white male. We're leaving talent on the table, and I think it's short-sighted when we try to get into these democratic fiefdoms, these democratic relationships where we can't have diverse candidates pursue these seats.
You don't think John Lewis and Deval Patrick and the Congressional Black Caucus care about diversity as much
I think
as
they
you
do, but I think relationships and loyalties trump race and trump diversity at times, and this is a great example of that. And just one other thing. It is not all the Congressional Black Caucus. It is the Congressional Black Caucus PAC, and we've already reached out across the country. Not all of them are in lockstep with the decision.
Jeff Brown, who's a reverend in town, is the associate pastor of the 12th Baptist Church, where Congressman Lewis spoke the other day. Jeff didn't go. And he said the following: the breakdown between the old guard, status quo Democratic machine and the new creative and fresh voices struggling to emerge from the machine, or what's going on. He says, essentially, you're supporting the old guard, status quo Democratic machine. Where's he wrong?
You know what? Michael Capuano have earned that.
How?
Because when he was a city councilor in Somerville, right, he introduced the first resolution about sanctuary city. As an immigrant myself, this is what we need. And Michael Capuano, he's for like housing. You remember when he voted for those, when he fight for the $30 million for housing in Whittier Street, transportation, Dorchester, Mattapan. You know, it's prominently like minority people. I don't think.
So you think he's delivered for people of color in this community?
He did. He continuously, and he's going to continue to deliver.
And by the way, she's not alone. That PAC for the Congressional Black Caucus, here's their statement: civil rights are under attack. We need to fight back. Capuano has built his career in standing up for those who've been left behind, on and on and on, essentially saying what the counselor said. They're wrong, too?
I think it's important because I think we sometimes confuse the argument. Capuano has delivered for District 7. I don't think that's the issue. I think we can go the housing, the transportation with the Fairmont line. In fact, the NAACP gives him an A every year, and the ACLU and the report card. That's not the issue. The issue is, and I have a hashtag, I said blue state, black weight. That means if you're in a blue state with a good guy, who's a nice person, who votes the right way, then we don't open up the pipeline for other candidates to come in. And in a city that we've never had a candidate of color hold that seat, an elected official of color, it is a sad commentary that we're not willing to move beyond this democratic loyalty to do that.
So does that mean that even if you get an A for your performance in office, as you say Mike Capuano has gotten, that if a competent black person runs against that A, he or she gets your support by virtue of the color of their skin?
So I don't think there's a question. If Ayanna was in that seat now, she would have an A too. The challenge is Ayanna has some diverse experiences, and it's not just about her color. It's about her struggles. It's about her awareness of women and family issues. It's about her awareness of violence in the inner cities and her actually being on the ground to understand those issues. And that's why
Jim is fine here, by the way.
That's why she would make
Unless you call him Mr. Curry, you're going to call me Jim, but go ahead.
Listen, Capuano fight for what we believe in. The biggest fight we have right now is to get Trump out of office. He voted twice to impeach the guy. Come on now.
No,
but you know what you said to me when we met a few minutes ago before we went on the air? You said one of the reasons I mentioned I had been a city councilor in Cambridge, one of the not a great celebrated 2 years, I should say. But you said that, and I'll paraphrase you, it's important that people in your community have a voice, and you like to think you're their voice. So where is the voice in a majority-minority city? And admittedly, Somerville's part of the district and part of Cambridge, but Boston is a majority-minority city. How, if we continue to re-elect even really good white members of the House of Representatives, how do the people you're concerned about have a voice through someone like you? Let
me tell you, me personally, when we reach out to Michael Capuano, it doesn't matter if it's going to be a meeting with 100 people or 3 people. He will show up. We had a family struggling with a mother who lost a child. He helped accelerate the process to get the visa to come in. Same thing with people needing care overseas, families struggling to get their visa to come here. These things are important to me. Recently, we had the youth council in Randolph doing a march against gun violence on a Sunday afternoon. The guy, that's his personal time. The guy was there marching with us, doing those issues.
And by the way, I'm assuming you would celebrate the exact same things Natacha would celebrate. So you know politics. Yep. I mean, I know we're talking principle. Yep. In the political world, I'm Michael Capuano. You tell me I've gotten an A. I've been with you on everything you care about. Yep. But by the way, I'm not going to support you because through no fault of your own, you're a white guy. There's an African American I feel a connection to. What's the incentive for the Michael Capuanos of the world to deliver for you rather than some reliable constituency?
So I say this to every white man who's dominated these positions, whether it's corporate America or elected office. If you are truly liberal and progressive, you should be thinking about a pipeline and identifying women and people of color to succeed into your seat.
So why don't you support term limits instead of ousting somebody who's done a good job?
I actually prefer the more humble way, which is that elected officials and corporate executives identify that diversity is necessary, and like companies that I can name.
Call me Mr. Braude. No, I'm kidding.
I can name companies that have said, you know what, I'm going to identify someone in the pipeline. I'm going to prepare them to be CEO. And I've had this conversation with Congressman Capuano about who it is.
I want to get back to this pipeline thing with you. Assuming, I guess, knowing about you, I read about you before you came today, assuming you care about the exact same things that Michael Curry does, how do we break the logjam? What's your solution? If Capuano deserves re-election, and I accept that from you, what do we do to ensure that there is a more diverse face to our delegation? Because they'll stay there forever.
Listen, Jim, what we talk, my subject is Michael Capuano. He's been doing a great job. We all agree on that. So we're going to keep him because now we need it more than ever for the fight.
Would you be happy if 5 years from now the whole Massachusetts delegation were still all white? You wouldn't, would you?
Listen, as long as they don't make me feel left behind, as long as they don't make me feel left behind, because this is what Capuano is doing: equal opportunity for everybody. He stands for women, immigrants, everyone.
And I will tell you, there's a kid sitting on Roxbury right now who appreciates Congressman Capuano's advocacy, but more so appreciates Ayanna's connection to his or her struggle. That is what we're talking about.
We got to go.
Let's not leave talent on the table. Let's have people like Ayanna have an opportunity to
we have a guy in Congress right now. He knows the game. He's been there. He knows the actors. Why would you change a winning team?
Counselor, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'd vote for you if I lived in Randolph. Let me tell you, Michael Curry, it's great to see you. And by the way, we've invited Ayanna Pressley and Michael Capuano to join us, and we hope they will soon.